Now batting for Worcester, number 36, Triston, Casas.
2 on, 2 out, bottom 9, we're tied at 1. It'll be a 1-0 pitch. Deep drive, right field, back to the wall, it's off the fence, and Triston Casas walks it off for Worcester.
And there is the moment. Triston Casas delivers an RBI single, peppers the wall, and the WooSox win it 2-1 over the Red Wings.
Triston Casas, Cooper Boardman, I think this is the biggest size disparity we've had in one of these, but welcome to it. Place I really want to start is your approach to hitting. And you've talked about it a bunch where you're focused on base and then the slugging will come from there. Can you kind of talk me through how you've evolved with your hitting mentality as you've gone along?
Sure, where I was at with the on base and the slugging is, I think it's easy to, get into a good mindset if you're focusing on getting on base. When you're focused on getting on base, you're focused on swinging at the right pitches, focused on working the count, getting deep into his arsenal, seeing his pitches, seeing the way he releases everything. And I think when you chase slug, when you get into that mindset of wanting to chase extra base hits, one, you get into a result-based mindset as opposed to a process one. Taking good pitches and being balanced, that all has to do with getting on base and working the pitcher, working the count, and taking walks, and just taking your hits when they come. But when you focus on slug, I feel like it gets me into an aggressive mindset. I just get up there trying to do too much, and me being a big guy and being a home run hitter, I don't think I should have to try to hit home runs to be a home run hitter.
You always been this way, this cerebral about hitting?
Definitely. I mean, I think it's the hardest thing to do in the world, but if you put it in the simplest terms that you can be successful. And when you make the simple things simple, it's good, but they shouldn't be made simpler. So it's a very hard thing to do. Very few people could do it, but the ones that can repeat it and be consistent and successful.
And your swing has not been the same. You had the leg kick, a few years ago. Can you talk us through the evolution of your swing and how you got to where you are right now?
Yeah, definitely. I think the physical adjustment comes with the mental adjustment. So if you're going to come up there with a different approach, a different mindset, sometimes you just have to angle your body a little different. Get your shoulders or your hips into a different spot to get into a spot that you're trying to get to, so sometimes a physical adjustment, freshens things up. It keeps the body in a different position and, keeps the nervous system on its toes.
This one is hammered to deep right field. Say goodbye, Triston Casas.
Why is this version of the swing you're talking about the best one that you've had?
I think the leg kick is low. I think my head is quiet. I think my feet are under me, which lets my hips turn better. And my hands are a little lower than they were before. It helps me relax my shoulders, and lets myself work under myself and keep my posture up. I think that's a important part of hitting for me, is keeping my posture tall. I'm such a big guy. I got long arms, long bat. I just try to tell myself if I got to bend over, it's pretty much a ball. So even though it's going to happen sometimes, you get committed. Guys make great pitches. They tunnel things off each other, and pitchers are getting to such a level that they're really taking advantage of all the information and really exposing us as hitters. But that's the simplest terms that I try to make it to. We could talk kind of the analytics side of it. We could talk about the different parts of how a swing. Most people don't know what a load is, don't know anything. Why do you love hitting the way you do? Well, in simplest terms, I'm a baseball player and I'm a first baseman. First base is a really offensive first position. It's great to play defense, pick everybody up, but at the end of the day, a first baseman's supposed to slug. They're supposed to hit home runs, drive in a lot of runs, hit in the middle of the order. So it's very important to know what you're doing when you go up there, know what you're trying to do, with the pitches, and really just, like you mentioned, or I know you mentioned on the broadcast and stuff, playing a strategic game, having at-bats that are geared towards scoring runs, helping the guys behind you, and helping the team win the game. So, it's all for the common goal of helping everybody and letting everybody get as good of idea of what to do at the plate as well. Watching you over the last few years, one of the things that's kind of stood out to me is kind of the way you've used
what I would call idle time, right? You come back from the pandemic, you're bigger, you're stronger, you're ready. You come back after a month and a half of an ankle injury, you come back, you're right back in it. Great players use idle time well. How did you use it in both those scenarios, and how do you use it?
Yeah, I told myself, even though that I'm not playing, even though there's not an opportunity to get better on the field, there is off the field. And I use that time to watch a lot of baseball, to watch the games and the WooSox games, and I watched you know, a lot of Red Sox games. I had just had a lot of time to one, work on myself, work on my ankle, get my body better, work on things that I necessarily hadn't been doing, reading different books, watching shows, and just, you know, I didn't want to use it as a vacation, but it was a good hiatus from the stress of the season. So coming back, I came with a fresh mindset. It honestly came at a perfect time. You know, I felt like I was right on the cusp of getting into a groove, maybe making that next step. You know, got that taken away from me, and it really gave me a good perspective coming back to the game. Sometimes as an athlete, as a competitor, you know, you get caught up in the results, you know, and coming back now, it's not about whether I got 2 hits, it's not about whether I got on base 3 times, it's just that I go out there, play a healthy 9 innings, did I have fun, and did we win the game? So that was how I used that idle time, really putting everything in perspective and making sure that I'm focusing on the important things of sports and baseball.
In time, wow. And Triston Casas bellows out his approval.
All right, so you go back, you watch a bunch of Major League Baseball, you watch the WooSox, you read, you do all that stuff. I'm sure you took a lot of things away. What's the number one thing that you took away?
That the best ability is availability. You know, if you're not out there, you're not able to help the team, then you're no good. So in baseball, everybody's very replaceable. And you know, if I can stay out there, do the job, get in there for 500 ABs and play 150 games, you know, I feel like the numbers are going to be there. But if I don't, I'm going to put a lot more pressure on myself, you know, like I am right now, to do good and want to make a push towards the end of the year to get those numbers where I want them to be. So just playing the game smart, playing it hard, playing it fast, but combination of all those things, you know, is what I took away most.
How do you sum up, you know, the last year and a half for you to get to AAA, have some time off, get back into it, and be, you know, in place consistently, where we're not only talking about being here, but being at Fenway as well? You know, what do you make of kind of what you've done in your ascent over the last year plus?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everything's gone up to plan right now. I've progressed pretty well. I've been going about a level a year, which is exactly what you want. And I've been learning about myself, learning about the game at such a great pace. I look at where I was 4 years ago when I signed, and I can only imagine if I make those strides in 4 years what I've done again. So, you know, it's really exciting thinking about the future, thinking about how far I've come, thinking about where I want to be. And, you know, I try to keep my head under my feet. I try to be here now and here focused on this game tonight, but I'm itching to play at the next level. It's been a dream of mine since I, you know, could walk. It's always been what I wanted to do. I want to play Major League Baseball, want to win the awards, want to win championships. So being so close to it, you know, it's really exciting.
Well, we have a feeling you'll get there. Triston, much appreciated.
Thank you.